Max.
Yes, sir.
Friday was full of big games around the Lone Star State. One of the biggest games in the state happened on the South Plains when unbeaten Abernathy took on unbeaten New Deal. And there could only be one. And that one was the New Deal Lions. And here to talk about his 9-0 New Deal Lions is the head coach. It's Coach Matt Hill. Coach, how are you?
Good. Doing great today.
Do you have any fun on Friday night?
Well, it was fun for the community, and it was fun for the kids. But, I'm sure both coaching staffs were, we both put in a lot of hard work that week. And, we did enjoy it when the game was over, but there's not a lot of fun for coaches long in between the quarters.
Yeah, no, certainly. No, that's something that I know you guys were very excited about. Looking forward looking forward to this game against Abernathy. Did you feel like we felt like this was going to be a measuring stick type game for you guys? Did you feel the same way entering the game on Friday night?
Well, Abernathy's a good ball club, and they've been ranked high all year, and it was one of the best opponents that we faced this year, and it was a challenge to us. See where we measured up, and I was just excited to see that our kids stepped up and then played a good football game.
You guys did play a good football game all the way around, and I think the thing that stands out to me the most, I want to talk about your offense in a second, but your defense, made plays. After a bit of maybe a shaky first quarter, you guys settled down and only gave up 6 points the rest of the way. What kind of adjustments did you guys make maybe midstream in the middle of the game to shut down what's been a very powerful Abernathy offense?
Well, you struggle during the week trying to simulate what they really do in practice. You can't simulate their speed. You can't simulate the way how physical they play. They got a tremendous quarterback over there, and so you just try to hope the kids can see a few snaps and then just make some adjustments. And I thought our kids did a great job doing that.
And you guys did force 4 turnovers on the night. That's been kind of the secret behind your defense so far. What is it? I know that. In some respects, turnovers can be a little bit random, but at the same time, you guys seem like you're very good at this. Has this been a point of emphasis for you guys throughout the year?
Yeah, we think any time we can give our offense another possession of the ball and have a takeaway on defense, that maybe we get an advantage in the game. And our secondary has got some interceptions on the year. We've recovered a few fumbles, and we just preached to our kids: do your job, run to the ball. We felt like against somebody like Abernathy who likes to run it, if we can force them to put the ball in the air, and maybe it changes their game plan a little bit. And, just knock on wood that we've got some of those turnovers this year.
You have. It's been really impressive to watch. We're talking with Matt Hill, the head coach of the 9-0 New Deal Lions here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Coach, I want to ask you about the other side of the ball, because the guy who's been really the breakout star for your team has been this sophomore running back, Nehemiah Martinez. He goes nuts again, 243 yards and 6 touchdowns, and he had an interception defensively. When did you know that you had something potentially pretty special in this young man?
Well, Nehemiah's the kind of kid that comes to work every day, and he never has a bad practice. He never has a bad hair day. He comes to practice energetic all the time. He's a very emotional leader for our team, even as a sophomore. And then those things pay dividends for him on Friday night. I think our offensive line did a great job creating some holes for him. But he's a good kid, and he gives props to all those offensive linemen because they need it. And he's just a kid that if you had a team full of Nehemiahs, it make coaching a lot easier.
Now, I want to ask you about that because you mentioned the offensive line. I feel like the offensive line never gets enough credit, and when you got a guy who's averaging more than 11 or 8 yards a carry, he's not doing it himself. Why has this offensive line been operating so effectively this season?
Well, we just talked to them about we'll only go as far as they'll take it, and so if they're going to have an off night, then obviously the other team's going to have some opportunities to get our backs down on the ground. But as long as our offensive line can keep showing up and execute their blocking schemes and create a few gaps, don't need a big one, but we just need a few. Maybe we can squeeze through it doing that. And they've done a great job, of staying in, keeping us in ball games, and then adjusting to defensive schemes. And I'm just very proud of the way our offensive line has performed this year.
You guys, another guy on your squad that I think you would probably agree has had a big reason, has been a big reason for your success, has been Brandon Coronado, a guy. When you look at your team, you're going to see a lot of juniors and a lot of sophomores. But here's a senior who's been playing big for you on both sides of the ball. How important is he to what you guys have been doing?
Well, we've just, he's carried us for so many years, and, everybody kind of knows where Brandon is on the field. And so, we've used him a few times on Friday night with some misdirection, and he draws a lot of attention. And so some of those gaps maybe that Nehemiah found, maybe it was because Brandon was doing his job and carrying out a fake or two, or trying to get the defense to persuade his way. But that kid does a tremendous job. He's probably the vocal leader of the team. He leads us in the right way, and he shows up for work every day. And, we're just proud that, he's had 4 great years with us. He's going to be a kid that we're going to miss tremendously after graduation, and, we'll have a hard time replacing him.
You guys are now you guys look forward for, not only to the playoffs, but before that, you still got a district title on the line. You guys are going to be taking on a tough Sundown team, a team that I know you guys know very well. I know that you guys, the kids. Let's just say the kids get fired up to play Sundown. is a nice way to put it.
Well, we're going to finish the season playing Abernathy and Sundown, and we told the kids at the start of last week that every game we're going to play for the rest of this year is going to be a playoff type game. Mm-hmm. So, that's the way we're approaching it. Sundown's very well coached. New Deal and Sundown been playing a long time. It's always a physical matchup. We're just trying to make sure to get our kids in the right spots, get the game plan installed, and Sundown's going to bring their best. We get fired up for them, and they get fired up for us. It's another big game this week. Like I told the kids earlier today, we've taken some steps up the ladder, so let's make sure that we do everything we can to stay up there. And Sundown will try to change that, and hopefully we can make sure that we come out with the win.
We're talking with Matt Hill, the head coach of the New Deal Lions here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, before I let you go, I want to ask you a little bit about your history with this program. You are an alum. And this has been a program that has been run by alums for, it seems like, forever. You took over. You took over for Ron Mayo a few years ago, who himself was an alum. How important and how special is it for you to be doing this and taking New Deal to these kinds of heights when you do have such a history with this school?
Well, Coach Mayo did a great job in getting a tradition set here, and we just try to make sure we keep that going. And it's my job maybe not to try to drop the ball on that thing. And so our kids are special. They show up to play every day and practice every day. And, there's not no magic potion that we put on it. It's just that, they believe in the tradition. They got to try to uphold what they do. And it comes from the top. Our superintendent was actually my head coach when I was in school, Jimmy Nolan. And so, there's a lot of head football coaches still on campus here at New Deal, and so we're just blessed to have all those guys around and to keep this tradition going.
It hasn't come up because you guys haven't lost, but with all those football coaches roaming around, you ever get let's just say advice from them?
I do get advice, and it's a great thing, and it's well needed, and I feel lucky sometimes that you have those guys that you can get their ear and they can get you pointed in the right direction. And because we have struggles like all the other football teams do, and they have some experience that they can share, and that's probably one of the biggest assets that I could put on as the coaching staff is that we do have some advisory people out there that sure can help us get pointed in the right direction.
Well, whoever's providing the advice, it's working so far for the 9-0 New Deal Lions and their coach, Matt Hill. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations on all your success. Best of luck at Slaughter Field on Friday night and the rest of the way.
Hey, I sure appreciate y'all.
There he goes, Matt Hill, head coach, the New Deal Lions, 9-0. And again, signature win. Now, look, he's exactly right. Like, you can't have any letdown.
No,
because Sundown's going to come to play. They're 8-1. This is a good Sundown team.
Yeah.
So there's no rest for the weary. No. You get a big win, that's great. On to the next one. But right now, New Deal looking very good. They cracked our top 10 in the 2A Division I rankings this week. So congratulations to them for all their success, and we appreciate Coach Matt Hill for hopping on with us.